Latvijas attīstībai biedru mēneša ietvaros mums priekšā viena ļoti interesanta intervija ar Andreju Taturu. Sveiks, Andrej!
Sveiks!
Kurš pirms nepilna pusgada ir ieradies Latvijā no Baltkrievijas un kļūst par Latvijas attīstībai biedru, vienu no jaunākajiem mūsu atbalstītājiem. Un jau apgūs arī dažus vārdus latviski. Kā tev iet ar latviešu valodu?
Es nezinu, es skatījos latviešu valodu 2 mēneši tikai. Bet jā, es kan sakiet, es dzīvoju Rīgā, es braucu uz Jūrmalu, es braucu ar autobusu un kan es mācu maksā par produktiem un
Man šķiet, ka
tikai 2 mēneši.
latviski mums iet gana ilgi šī saruna, ja mēs mēģinātu sarunāties, varbūt pēc nākamā pusgada jau tas būs, pieļauju, daudz raitāk. Tā kā tu esi mācījies gan Baltkrievijā, kur tu savu diplomu darbu uzrakstīji Baltkrievu valodā, tu, protams, zini arī krievu valodu, bet es mācījies arī Zviedrijā un ļoti labi zinu angļu valodu, es piedāvāju pāriet uz angļu valodu.
Jā.
Tas ir ok?
Paldies.
Well, first of all, why Latvia? Why are you here?
Well, Latvia has been a choice as there was a problem. I really wanted to come back to Belarus after studying in Sweden. I really wanted to do something for my country. It has always been my dream. As you have mentioned right now, I have written my bachelor diploma in Belarusian. So that kind of show my feeling for the country. I'm very patriotic about it. But after staying there for 1 month, I understood it was pretty depressive since I've left Belarus in August 2020 for do my studies in Sweden. I have come back to a completely different country. I really adored Minsk, the vibe there. So my friends, many of them left Minsk after the events of 2020. I couldn't find something to do. I felt like helpless. And there was not that much we could do about the situation that days. And also the economic situation quite worsened. It was, I could find a job, of course, but the possibilities were quite, I would be a poorer guy there, to say.
What changed in that very one moment? Like you lived there, everything was like quite okay. Then you went away and there was one...
It was a bit harsh decision, I'd say. I wasn't completely sure it is a right one. But I wanted to live in the European country, close to Belarus, and having good relations with the Scandinavian, as my studies interest was investment in the Northern Europe, and as you know, maybe Latvia is considered as a Northern European country, and I've written about it in my bachelor work papers. So, and I think this is a place to develop myself and probably to invest my own efforts to the development of Belarus, because as we know, and after such gestures that we've seen in May 2021, we have seen that Latvians do support Belarus, and maybe I can do something here in Latvia, fighting what I want to fight. And I think many Latvians don't really understand what's happening in my country.
Yeah, so please tell us what was the reason why it exploded in such a way those 2 years ago.
We still don't understand, but we've had such a feeling that we should put an end on it, because through all my life we've kept silence, and it was pretty comfortable. We had a good living. We knew that there are political prisoners, but we knew the rules. I have never participated in any kind of political activities. I've been leader of some other organizations when being young, but I couldn't even think of like sitting here right now and speaking to you about the truth, that what we think, and we think we were ready to do that.
And so there was
it
the
exploded.
day of the
It's really
election.
exploded. That's the right word. It exploded really. Maybe after the pandemics as well, because we were very disappointed about the we were not told to wear a mask, to do anything. I got COVID in the April 2020. I've seen that the situation was out of control, and we were advised just to drink vodka and drive tractor.
Okay, but those election results were nobody believed in them. Okay, but how do you think did Lukašenko actually lost in those elections? Or?
Absolutely, we do think so, because we were near the election polls. We were. I was not actually. I have calls with my friends waiting for the election polls to be proclaimed, and some of the fair commissions, they put the correct bulletins with the correct numbers, where Cihanousku won. And if you live in Belarus and you talk to your friends, families, to your surroundings, if you live in this society, you see that Lukashenko could never have gotten 80%.
But maybe there was
unacceptable.
55, for example.
I think if he would put 55, then the situation would be different. But there is something about him personally, I think, and this is. But at the same time, it's a logical end. I hope so. It will put an end to the regime, and finally we would join the European democratic family, and we will choose what to do, what to speak. I think Latvians don't like sometimes the quarrels in the society, but this is what we lack at the same time. The Latvians sometimes, I hear that they need a leadership. They want to be united. They don't want that so-called circus in the politics. They really hate politics. They don't want to hear anything about it. As far as I say that I participate in the youth political organizational movement, the conversation goes really down. That's why I say all the time it's just a club of interest, some sort of.
Yeah.
Yes, but at the same time, we want such a discussion in the society. We want politics to be present in our lives. We know we may disagree on many points, but at least we want to be heard.
Right now, the situation in the news, the topics changed. If previously we were talking about the opposition in Belarus, then now we are talking just about those border crises. What do you feel when you see such news about your country?
Yes, I got your point. It was very difficult for me the first half a year to hear something wrong in the news, but it's passed so much time, and I think we have all found our places how to live with it. It's very difficult, very complicated, but I think I think the Europeans and the world society, they cannot live at the same agenda for 2 years. That's not that relevant. But at the same time, as you can see, the president of Belarus, Cihanousku, she had a speech today in the European Parliament. She got the support of European deputies.
So you call her president?
Yes, I do. Maybe it's more correct to say president-elect, they say in America. She doesn't call herself, but maybe she lacks that support. Maybe if all the people would call her a president, then of course she would become one. I think people are not used to do that. Even if Belarusians don't call her president, why would some European news agencies call her president? They accidentally sometimes call the citizen Lukashenko, Mr. Lukashenko, president. Sometimes we got very angry about it. But once we write comments about the BBC posts, they change the article name. So
okay, but you're now are in contact with your friends and family who lives in Minsk, and what's the the mood in Minsk and in all the Belarusia is now, because we don't know what's gonna happen on those borders. For example, now we know there's a lot of people on a border with Poland. There were also quite a lot of people on the borders of Lithuania and Latvia, and now there's also some rumors about Estonian border also. How do you think? What are people thinking inside of Belarus about all this?
I think we got used to it. Like it's absolutely normal. We couldn't imagine that 2 years ago, like a crisis on the border, as an airplane landed and captured. But it has become a part of our lives. About my friends.
So it's hard to surprise you now.
Yes, we just have watched the latest interview of Lukašenko to the BBC. Just laughed a bit, said he's so crazy, nothing else, nothing new for us. That's why I think the diaspora should work a bit more to speak to the world community, to ask for more pressure on the regime, not to support it. And about my friends, two of my best friends, they're in jail right now. They got imprisoned in September. This was one of the reasons, by the way, why I left for Latvia. I had a conversation with my family, and I told, you know what, I think I will get imprisoned because I speak too much a bit. Look at my social networks. If now in summer it's a bit calm here, the regime will not forgive it, and that's what's happened to my two friends. They don't get letters. This is the third week we haven't seen any reply from them, any letter, and it's a kind of torture. They have, unfortunately, they haven't gotten any letter from me, from Riga. I've written 2 times. They have gotten letters from family and from girlfriends. They haven't, and as I have said, they haven't received any reply in 3 weeks already. Yes, and at the same time, yes, we stay positive at the same time. It's a completely disaster right now with the civil society, with our lives. But at the same time, well, we should leave somehow. Sometimes I feel guilty about living here in Riga. Like, I really enjoyed the celebrations last week. And I understand that right now, at the very moment, my friends are in prison, jail, in jail, yes. Well, I should do whatever I can do. Well, that's why I'm sitting right here right now. It's my, that's what I can do.
But so if you are writing something in a Facebook or Instagram, or even maybe making some videos in a TikTok, then someone is watching that, and you can't be sure that someday just you will walk through the street and you will be taken by the police.
I think it depends on how popular you are, how far you go. I think, and how many places are in prison left. So there are not that many places. So I think they have a list or something. So he or she has 1,000 subscribers. Well, we don't have places in jail for them right now. But this
one, minor
influencers. Yes. But this one, she has 10,000. We'll jail them right now.
We'll find a place for such person.
And I have not that many, but I think the queue will come to me as well someday. Maybe after this interview, I will go to the queue much further.
Maybe there will be start looking a place for you.
Yes.
Oh, let's knock some. But okay, finishing with that situation. As you said, it's hard to stay in the top of the news for 2 years. Yeah, and now it's kind of dropped down of that all this thing. Don't you think that maybe the moment is lost, and it's like the opposition were more powerful like a year ago than it is today, and that now it takes again a long time to have that explosion again and to unite everyone to go out in the streets, because maybe he got what he wanted, to let everyone, to make everyone afraid of him.
Let's call it status quo. It doesn't matter what I think about. I think about many things, including what you've said, but it matters what I do, personally I do. It means what diaspora can do. The Polish diaspora, very active. They're always on the agenda in Poland, for instance. We got a bit weaker. You haven't seen many bright performances, maybe. The latest one was on the 9th of August, the year after the election. Hope we'll be more active in the future. But I think we will not forgive it this time. It's something's completely different this time, not like with the previous elections. Maybe a new generation came as well, same as in Latvia, so to say.
So something changed already.
Yes, I think we must put an end somehow to it. It's not over for 100%. It's not over because the situation is on the agenda in Belarus every day. So we will jail all of you, we will find all of you, the migrant crisis as well, so to say. And I think what you said, that the agenda is down in Europe, I don't think so actually. I think it's normalized, like a bit of Belarus once a week.
Yeah.
So I think that's fine.
Okay, so you came to Latvia, and now you're sitting in a office of Latvijas attīstībai political party.
Yes.
How do you found Latvijas attīstībai, and why you decided to join?
I think they found me. That was the event of 9th of August that I mentioned, and they proactively participated in organizing it, in joining our rail in Riga. We had a march, and that's how I've had an interview even for television there. I've been very active, and I've seen those of my age, young men. So we just got in a conversation. We got common interests, and I got invited to visit some of their gatherings. That was just a club of interest, as mentioned. It wasn't some political statement of mine. It was just a possibility to find friends here in Riga, because in the diaspora I'm, I think, one of the youngest persons. It's a bit complicated to move to European Union to get all the documentation required. And I got it here, and yes, it was more about finding friends, and this is how it grows right now. I do think I can combine both things: having fun, talking, having friends, group of interest, and supporting Belarus, my homeland.
How do you think? What is the things we can do from here, from Latvia, and how do you evaluate that all those things we've done?
There is always room for perfection.
Sure.
But anyway, I think the Latvians have really put an effort for it. They contributed to the solution of the crisis we have right now. Latvia, Lithuania, Poland. You can often hear from Belarusians right now. Now I understood who our brothers are. I think you know which countries we thought our brothers were, but then we came back to our history, and we've seen the reaction on the events in our country. And you know what it's the Baltic community we're in, it's the Poland. We have many friends with many go to work to Poland. Yes, and we're very thankful to Latvia. What Latvia can do as well, it's to fight corruption in its own country, to become better. I think the cigarettes that are very... It took me a month to find Belarusian cigarettes here in Riga. They're much cheaper here. And I don't think that such huge amounts go to Latvia just accidentally. There is something who stands behind it, and it's corruption here in Latvia. Just fight it, and you will help us to fight the regime of Belarus. There are fisheries. This company Santa Bremer. Maybe you've seen the cover of it. Fish that is on the best places and all the best Maxima, Rimi, and this is known Lukashenko's wallet. So, and it's widely spread all across Latvia, and it's known that it was a miracle that they were not in the sanctions list of the EU. It was discussed in the Belarusian media. How would they? And Latvians pay the euros to the regime as well. Latvians, Lithuanians as well. That's how I think. And such little steps may help to Latvia to become more prosperous, I'd say, to become healthier if you fight the contraband of cigarettes. And yes,
and those fishes.
Yes, those fishes. If Belarus joins the European family, the Baltic states will not be an outskirt of European Union. It will be a complete map. Can you imagine that? Roads to Ukraine, not like it's now surrounded by a sea or something else. So yes, and how else? Well, my thought that it would be a great idea to close the supplies, to close the railway, to close the cargo traffic from Russia and China through Belarus. Maybe to have these routes moved through Baltics at the same time. Well, you could gain a lot from it, but that's just my thoughts. So.
Well, Andrei, thank you for a nice conversation, and I hope that Latvians and Belarusians will be opponents just in hockey games.
Yeah,
that's the only place.
Just nice. Yeah, I think I could join this game as well. That would be a question which side I would choose in the future.
Andrejs Taturs pie mums viesojās šeit, lai pastāstītu, kā tad ir pārcelties no Baltkrievijas uz Latviju. Biedru mēnesī viens no mūsu Latvijas attīstībai biedriem.